Episode number 204 with Clayton Fletcher and Mark Alioto. Welcome to the Heads Up Poker Podcast. This is Steve Barton.
And this is Mike Snyderman.
And we have an exciting show today. Returning guests, Clayton Fletcher and Mark Alioto. Both have been on the show several times. Neither at the same time, though.
Hold on. You told me we were going to have a couple Indonesian hookers on.
Well, this is pretty close.
You told me special. No.
Let's see. We're going to.
Can you actually speak any foreign languages, Steve? With all your travels, do you prepare for that kind of stuff?
I do. I'm studying Portuguese right now. Actually, I'm going to be leaving for Brazil here in about a week.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yeah, I'm excited. So I've been practicing Portuguese. It's pretty similar to Spanish, and I think I'm starting to kind of get it because I just got an email from the airlines the other day, and I got halfway through it, understanding what it said, and then I realized it was in Portuguese, and I'm like, okay. I'm kind of getting the hang of this. It's very similar to Spanish, especially in written form. You can almost kind of speed read. It would be like English, but instead of like where there's a CH, there would be like an X or something random like that, but you can still get the gist of what it's saying. So I think I'm going to pick it up pretty quick.
Right. Okay. But, I once again interrupted you. We were talking about Clayton and Mark together.
Oh, that's right. I saw a squirrel.
You were alleging this was a special episode. We'll find out.
Right. I'm excited. We're going to play the game. Mike designed it. What do we call it, Mikey? What would Steve answer?
Yes.
Okay. All right. I'm going to text my answers to Mike, and Mark and Clayton are going to bet on what.
Well, we can explain. Well, I'm going to explain it to them. So
okay. All right. We got a free gift for you at the end of the show too. It's a hour-long content of Alex Fitzgerald's. He's our new sponsor now. Master Tournament Poker in one class. So I'm excited. It's going to be a good show.
Sounds good, Stevie.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So how you been? We haven't talked in 9 to 11 days, something like that.
Utterly hysterical, Steve. What do you think?
Okay. All right.
I was thinking people here, of course, see me in various states of unhappiness. Like if someone were to never listen to this before, they're like, Jesus, what's wrong with this Mike guy? He's on the edge. But like people listen to this all the time. He's like, Mike sounds great for someone whose life is, they're so used to it. But pretty dramatic. Probably my worst downswing ever at the absolutely worst time. Down. I think I started the month of March up 12,000 and finished it down 3,500. So that's 15,000 in 2 weeks, which is a lot of money. Much more than what I played. I was already underrolled, so I was pretty much at the edge. I called my mother and had an honest talk. That was the thing. If things ever went totally to shit, she made it clear she'd never give me any money, but I could, move to Florida and stay there rent free while they're in Maine and kind of rebuild and But, so that was desperate times, desperate measures. And I didn't want to go down to nothing. I'm like, I want to have enough cash so I can pack the truck up with all the moving truck and Ford storage and have some money there. So I'm not like totally, but, so ridiculous. And then the last 2 days I've had very good sessions where I made 2,400 and then 4,300 last night, which is one of my best ever.
Okay. Nice.
So still, 2.5.
2.5. Oh, wow. That is good at 2.5.
Yeah. So still completely on the edge here kind of, but hopefully it doesn't take long, Steve, for me to really be put in a tough spot here. So let's hopefully, I need like 3 good months in a row, really, where I can hopefully not blow it. I could use a nice score in Vegas too.
Yeah.
I talked to, Jason setting up the time and I told him there was a 0% chance of me going to Vegas. But I talked to him right at the worst point. But now it's like, maybe I'll make 4,000 today.
Okay.
So let's bump it up to 3%. So I'd like to, hopefully, of course, I always want to do well, but it'd be great if I had ripped off, a 20K in profit the next 6 or 7 weeks. Then I could take a couple thousand and go to Vegas. We'll see if that happens or not.
Yeah.
But quickly, I mean, running bad. I mean, I have all of my bad beat stories, but it's funny. Actually, I went to lunch with Jason yesterday, and it was half an intervention. I thought we were just going to bullshit, talking about poker. And he's like, pretty much saying, Mike, you've been, my son's in the other room playing Fortnite, by the way, but talking about my being disoriented and what causes that, if you know what I'm saying. So basically, a lot of it, like he says, him and a lot of people out there is just like, geez, I hope Mike is high today. We can take all his money again. Okay. I don't know how much that is. I mean, like, I'm not paying attention to the action necessarily, but I never am anyways, on a certain level, because my inner life is so rich, Steve, you know what I'm saying? I got other stuff to think about, but for the first time, this was definitely a high mistake, though. I had a big decision to make. I had a top pair with a nut flush draw on the turn, and I'm thinking, I'm talking it through, and the other guy, who I'm very friendly with, he's been playing there for a few months, showed me his set, and I wasn't paying attention.
Oh shit.
And I called. I mean, I called with whatever 8 outs, so I wasn't calling dead, but it was actually almost getting the right price at that. I think I had to call 600 to win a pot of 2,400 or something. But either way, that's a horrible mistake. So running terrible. My back is really bad, so this is my excuse. I'm kind of self-medicating here, but I'm going to try to cut that out. And same old. I like how I like my poker abilities these days, relatively speaking. But I just need a hot streak just to take the anvil hanging over my head here. But that's about it.
It's so streaky, yeah.
Yeah, well, I don't know if any good pro could lose that much money in an 800 cap game in 2 weeks. I mean, that's a lot.
Is there something that you're thinking that you could change that like to limit?
Well, I don't. Yeah, well, I mean, not really. I mean, I do. Yeah. The one thing that when you're running bad is really just is amplified is, like, I think we've talked about this. This is, Bart Hansen, the guy who's crushed live poker. Yeah. He did a lot of LA Cash. He's like a great resource. But he talks about his willingness to gamble early in capped games, which is basically, if I buy in for 800, I look around and there's a couple of weak players with 2,000. I'm willing to gamble to get that stack of 1,600. Yeah,
so you can win a big score.
Because, once you start going to 300, 400 big blind pots, I have a bigger edge against the soft players. So I'm guessing that has something to do with it. The other day where I had a miserable day, I flipped twice early. Twice I got it in with 150 big blinds with ace king suited, once against jacks and once against queens. Of course, I'm supposed to win one of those hands. Lost them both, so I was immediately down into the game for like 2,500. It just didn't look up after that.
Yeah.
So I guess, I mean, if I'm down 1,000, I definitely will play a more high variance style, I guess. There's probably a couple times, the whole Jared Tendler thing where the Elliot thinks you could set an alarm. So after 8 hours, you have to really assess whether you should be there or not.
Yeah.
And only if it's a great, like, 5-star game do you even stick around.
Yeah.
But I need the hours, even if it's making $20 an hour and the rake back. So unless something really is going on, I'm never going to not play 200 hours a month there. That's just for the year, that's my goal.
Okay.
But, I mean, there's only so much you could do to reduce variance. But like I said, I don't know what a good pro, what do they lose in that stretch for me? I don't know, 4,000 or 5,000. So it's 10,000 I just lit on fire. Maybe I'm being tougher on myself than I don't know. But yeah. I'm
sorry to hear that, Mike. Hopefully this is a turnaround here with those 2 good scores, and we'll see.
If Bitcoin starts going up, people are starting to talk about Bitcoin again at the casino, which is annoying. I didn't have to hear a damn word about it for the last year. Now I'm going to be remembering, for those who held on, who are getting a little excited now that maybe it's going to take a bump.
Yeah.
You still have all that absolute shitcoin, right? Or did you sell all that and turn it into Bitcoin?
I sold all that and turned it into Ethereum.
Okay.
So we'll see if that was an intelligent decision or not. I don't know. We'll see.
It's annoying. I think the last 3 Sundays I've played online, and every time I've pretty much had a break-even Sunday every time. My Sundays are usually the same. When 8 o'clock rolls around, I'm running deep in like one of the major tournaments, and if I bust out, right away, I lose money for the day. If I kind of make it the final few tables, maybe I break even, and then obviously if I final table, it's a good profitable day. And I think I've had 3 straight weeks where I've made like the final 3 tables of one of their bigger tournaments. Whenever I think of Bitcoin, I just think of online poker because, like a 30K score, that would have been good timing 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
So I kind of get excited for online poker again, but it's just I have to put in the hours at the casino, I think.
Yeah. Even
Although,
on like just devoting one Sunday, is it really that much better at the casino than it would be online?
No, the one Sunday is good, but I mean, like, I'm just thinking like it was last April actually where I had my really ridiculously good month where I made like 50,000 online. Where I final tabled the $1 million tournament on ACR and then won like a 50K and a 30K or whatever it was.
Yeah.
So in my mind, this is the hot month. I would love to play every day and grind hours, but it's perilous to do that because my cash. Although it's not a bad idea to prepare for Vegas. Do you consciously, because you're going to Vegas, like, okay, I'm going to make sure I watch a TPE video every day or watch some Poker Go of some live tournaments or anything like that? Or
I am, yeah. I'm re-going through Zach Elwood's live video series, starting up, what do you call it? Alex's book, Exploitative Live Poker.
Okay.
Listening to that again. And I'm going to start going through Alex's videos now that we're a sponsor, or he's our sponsor. So, yeah, I like to do something like that as opposed to, something like that's live, you know what I mean? As far as study that's different between live and online, things like tells, stuff like that. I enjoy going through that stuff before Vegas because I'm probably not going to play a hand of online poker, but it'll just all be live. There may be the odd day or something where I bust early and then I just go home and grind Bovada or something, but the majority of the time it'll just be live. So yeah, this is the time of year. And when I'm on vacation, I'm going to be watching these videos every night. So yeah, I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
Thumbs
Tag
up.
team event.
I hope, God, I want to go to Vegas. I hope I run hot. I should set up some. I just quickly told myself I got to be up 20K. I have to make 20K over the next, basically have a 10K plus April and May, which is, definitely possible. We'll see.
We can get you back too, I mean, so.
Well, either way, I'll be selling a big piece of myself if I go there for more than a week, just because, when I say having Vegas money, I'm thinking like $4,000.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, I play I can play 10 or 15K in tournaments. And if I don't,
Yep.
I don't know. We got our boys ready to come on here or what?
Yeah. Let's, without further ado, Clayton Fletcher and Mark Alioto. Thank you guys for coming on the show.
Sure. Why not?
Happy to be here.
Clayton, before you got on, we were talking about like TPE and you're now hosting the podcast there, but like Mark's original idea, I thought this was interesting. He wanted this summer to have a clown with a TPE t-shirt going around and making animal balloons at the Rio. And KB said, let's just get Clayton. He's cheap and it's pretty much the same damn thing.
Yeah.
Only if you could get that clown. Only if you could get that clown handing out t-shirts to also offer to sell people cell phone chargers.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's a great idea.
No one's annoyed by that.
That's awesome.
You just bust like a 5K and a guy's like, by the way, do you want a phone charger?
No, but
like, oh my God, I
want to punch you in the face. Is that okay?
Yeah.
It's $12.99. I keep the change. Would you like to buy one?
In all seriousness, it is nice that you'll have a podcast on a more regular basis because I always loved them, especially when I first started listening to TPE. And it was always like, a lot of times it was Diego, I promise we're going to be doing this every 2 weeks now. And then 5 months later, the next episode.
The next episode comes out.
Diego's a busy man though, right?
Yeah, all these guys are busy.
He's got. Yeah, all of us do different stuff now. I mean, Diego's probably Derek's pretty busy too. Yeah, we just couldn't get it done. All of us at one time was never going to happen anymore, like on a regular basis. It was just impossible.
Yeah, and
so yeah, Clayton's
even now it ends up being just me a lot. So, I try to get as many of the guys as I can every time I have a recording set up. And, most of them say, yeah, I think I'll be able to do it. And then the day of the recording, stuff comes up and they all say, I can't do it. And then I do it by myself, and that's okay. I'm used to everyone not wanting to talk to me, so it's not a problem.
Wait, can you just clarify? When I have said I'm on, I have been on, right? We can just be clear on that.
Yeah, actually,
us just yet.
Absolutely. Mark is the most reliable, which isn't saying much. That's not saying much, but he is.
Well, the ones you do on your own, Clayton, they're very good.
Thank you.
Yeah, I like the format that you do, taking hands that you've played or dissecting, like your recent ones with dissecting the final table. Yeah, they're spot on.
Well, thanks, Steve. Yeah, and for those who haven't listened, I like to usually, 90% of the time, I won't tell you what one of the players has until the end of the hand.
Yeah.
So you can kind of play along with me and, why do you want to do this? And we kind of, in typical TPE fashion, we really go deep into every decision. We don't gloss over it for the sake of trying to get more hands in. We'd rather talk about one hand thoroughly than just kind of run through 5 hands quickly. So
yeah.
I've maintained that tradition of Tournament Poker Edge. We could talk about one street for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
So if you like in-depth analysis, that's what we try to bring.
Yeah. Yeah.
Quickly, I hate to push things along, but because I'm so excited for this game that I've come up with here called What Does Steve Think? I don't know if you told him that we brought him on here specifically for a game, Steve.
I did. Yes.
Oh, okay.
We're excited.
That's the only reason I'm here. First off, like I heard game and Clayton, and I was like,
no, I was just going to ask Clayton about his. We talked about me and Mark and you, Steve, beforehand. I was going to ask Clayton if he's come up with his Vegas summer schedule yet here. When he's going to be out there.
I do. I have a preliminary schedule. It's about 25 or 30 events. Nice. Hopefully I won't be able to play that many because I keep making day 2 and 3 of so many of them that ends up being like 12 events, which would be great. But yeah, I have a pretty full schedule, which of course is always pending things that could come up, such as if Poker Go wants me to do any more commentary, then of course I'll forget that tournament that day and I'd rather be in the booth anytime. So, but yeah, I'll be there all summer and I'm looking forward to it so much. I've already looked at all the schedules and I just can't wait to get out there. I love the summer in Vegas. It's the best.
Are you going to be buying pieces of a couple of years ago you bought a piece of me and a bunch of other people and you really got kind of drilled in the ass with that, right? Nobody made a run in anything when you were buying a few years ago, right? Am I wrong?
Well, nobody did anything spectacular, but I didn't end up losing that much buying pieces. I think what I prefer to do nowadays is just swap. Like, if we know we're both going to play, let's just do 3%, 5% of each other or whatever, just because it was a little frustrating. Some of the guys I bought shares of, they did like, this real complicated thing like Mike likes to do. Package A, package B, package 12C, package, with like Roman numerals. You got to figure out, wait, do I have a piece of this tournament he's playing today? And then he ends up playing a tournament that's not in any of the packages, and you're just like, oh, that's the one he's going to final table.
Gotta get
so
it.
I'd rather not.
Zodiac killer puzzle to figure it out.
I'm not that smart, so I'd rather just say, look, are you playing? Good, me too. You want 3%? Good, booked. That's a lot easier.
Something that having fun in live cash here that I've been doing is Mark probably knows it. He knows all the gambling stuff. Mark, do you know what the Laden is?
Yeah.
Yeah. So basically, this is going to be Mark and Clayton heads up. What would Steve think? What is Steve's answer? So you're not betting. You're not betting on what the answer is. You're betting on what Steve thinks. And obviously, this is Steve. Hopefully, will continually expose his ignorance and confusion, and we can have some good laughs.
So it's Barton Thinks. We're playing Barton Thinks.
This is Barton Thinks.
Barton
yes,
Thinks.
Yes, that's the game.
Now, Steve, quickly the rules here. I'm going to ask.
We got a letter from a listener too. We got to get to, but we can run through.
Can we actually do that in the end, just in case? Because I have to
do that at the end. Okay.
I have to do something with my son in like a little over an hour. So this game is so fascinating. I hate to keep the audience.
Get into it.
So basically, Steve, when I ask you the question, though, you can't like think it out loud, because that's kind of part of the mystery. Is like, does Steve have any idea how to calculate this or what it's going to do? So that's like the main thing. You can't ask any questions either. It's just however you interpret. Not that there's any trick questions, but you know,
Okay.
You can't say, well, how do you interpret this? So it's just you got to come up with an answer, and then afterwards, these guys pretty much I got to set a line, an over and under. So if I asked you how many gallons of water are there in an Olympic-sized swimming pool? Mark says 20,000. Clayton says 1,000,000, and then Mark says lock it up. So whenever these guys, if you think someone's number is too low, you guys go higher. And then whenever you think someone's gone too high with the number, you say lock it. And then Steve gives the answer, and whoever said lock it will have everything below that number, and the other person will have everything above. Does that make sense, sir?
Okay, so
we're trying to set a line.
Well, no, you're betting on what Steve says, but it's going to end up being an over/under, because we're not going to get the exact number. So if you know, Clayton, if Mark said 1,000,000 gallons of water, and Clayton said no, there's no way Steve goes that high, I'll lock that in. So you have the under, and Mark has everything over 1,000,000. So it's pretty much
okay.
Yeah, we're kind of setting the median, what we think.
And we can like keep bidding each other up.
Yeah,
like
there's
6, 7.
There's ways you can angle people with that too.
I'm not smart enough.
Where
for
you
that,
can,
Clayton.
You guys,
He'll take the
Heads up,
dub.
Clayton.
all right, you don't do Price's Right rules. Okay, got it.
Okay, we have an odd number of questions, correct, Mikey?
I didn't come up with the number of questions. Do these guys want to actually put some sort of summer wager here for who does better? I don't know.
I was thinking you and I, Mike, could have some kind of wager on who we think is going to win. If there's another way to gamble.
Am I gonna be offended by the line you guys said?
Let's just play for the joy of the game, Steve. I don't know.
All right.
I assume that, guys, Steve and Mike would be putting up a prize for either Mark or me to win. Like, yeah, what are we doing?
I could use a shirt to go with my hat that Stevie got me. My hat is amazing. I could use a nice little shirt.
Yeah, some kind of article of clothing or jewelry. I could use a new watch. I figured you guys
potential dance.
How about this? If Mark wins when he passes out at a bar this summer, I won't steal his cell phone.
Okay. That's fair.
Promises not to write on his forehead.
Incentivize this somehow.
No cheating. Okay, good.
Fair enough.
All right, I'm excited.
Okay, Steve. I have like half the questions are about like TPE people and half are just other stuff.
Okay.
So here we go. What do you think is the most number of people who have ever seen Clayton perform stand-up comedy at one time?
Interesting. Okay, the most people. Okay. Now, I know he's really big. Do I go into my thing now, or do I just text you the answer?
We can do the post-mortem here. So
okay.
You got it.
I'm going to text you my answer. At one time.
And
then Clayton and I are just going to rotate. Like one time he goes first.
Yeah,
and me,
or
whatever.
just maybe whoever wins. Yeah, Mark, you go first this time, and then whoever wins the previous question afterwards will go.
Okay, I just texted in. I locked in my answer.
Okay, Mark.
Okay, so since Steve said he knows he's big, that means it's higher than what I was thinking. I am going to go with 8,000. 8,000.
Okay. So now my rules are I can just say lock that and I'll take the under.
Yes.
Okay, I want to do that. I don't think Steve thinks that I've performed for over 8,000 people at a time.
That's a lot for a comedian.
I was going to say 5,000, but when Steve said high, I was like, okay, I got to go a little higher than what I originally was thinking.
I'd be curious.
I'll go under 8,000.
Maybe Clayton, I was thinking like 600 is a huge crowd. These comedy clubs, most of them have like 200 seats probably. So that would be a big club. Steve said 2,000.
All right, so I got a point.
that is a Clayton victory.
Wait, so do I get some respect points, Clayton, for thinking you performed in front of 8,000
For
people?
thinking that you performed.
Well, put it this way, Mark. Your guess is a hell of a lot closer than Steve's.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Is it in Sweden,
Well,
Clayton?
Oh, it is.
Yeah, I did a big outdoor festival in Sweden for about 6,200 people.
Wow. Okay.
Nice. Right on. Okay. I almost said, I know he's big in Sweden. And then I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't give away any more shit here.
Yeah, you're not supposed to tip your hand like that, Barton.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it didn't work.
It didn't work anyway.
Steve's like, how many unemployed people are there in Sweden anyways? They gather once. Okay, this one, Clayton's going to go first. Steve, in the last 100 years, how many people on the planet have been killed by hippopotamuses?
In the last 100 years?
Yes.
Oh, dear God.
Clayton straight to hippopotamus.
Right. Makes a lot of sense.
I'm bouncing. Maybe I'll ask all the TPE questions first, and then for some.
No. I like it. I think it's a good question.
Years, that's a long time. There's been a lot. Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, it's locked in.
Oh, okay. Clayton, what do you think? Stevie thought.
67.
67. I'm going to take over.
No, you can't say over. You have to just come up with the next number that's higher than 67. Lock it is only when you think the guy's gone too high.
Okay, I'll go 75.
I'll take under 75.
Let's see what Stevie said.
Okay. I was trying not to laugh.
One a year, maybe?
Steve said 10,000.
10,000?
I was... Shit.
Believe it or not, this is not that it's a trick question.
Dude, there's not... In 100 years, do you know how many that is a year? It's not hard. That's a lot.
The funny thing is...
It should be about 100 a year, unless I'm totally fucked up.
I think Steve, believe it or not, is those hippopotamuses kill a lot of people in Africa, believe it or not. They're like angry animals, and people are always heading over to get water out of their areas. So I don't know what it is, but it's actually a pretty big number. Although
I would think it would be a lot back in the day when they didn't have like brick homes and stuff, right? I mean, people were living out in the desert. I don't know.
I mean, I knew Steve was
100 years ago. Not 100,000 years ago. I don't know. I just know they like marbles.
Right.
Weird question, Mike.
Okay. Well, I just thought it was interesting.
We're tied up. Yes.
1-1.
Back.
Okay, here we go. Steve, what is the most money that Mark has won in one sports bet?
Ooh. The most money that Mark has won in one sports bet. Okay.
And this time, Mark will be going first.
God, this is tough for me.
Hang on. One sports bet. All righty.
Oh, God. This is so weird because I know.
You know the answer.
Steve doesn't know how big of a D-gen I am. I know he knows I'm a D-gen, but shit. I'll play it safe and start with 3K.
I'll go 5K.
That's a fucking good little raise there.
the click back.
Oh, that's so close.
That's less than a min raise.
How big of a degen does Steve think I am is what I really have to ask myself. I kind of feel like he doesn't think. God, I don't know. He's seen me at the bar though. I could get a little loosey goosey. Just throw like. I'm gonna lock that in. I'm locking it in.
Steve's gonna say under 5,000.
I do. Come on, Steve.
Steve said $10,000.
Yes.
I think I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong to think. I mean, you're not.
I don't know if you remember way back in the day, Mark. Your first episode, you were pretty open about your sports betting problems before you found poker.
That's what I was remembering. That 4 years ago or whatever it was that you said that.
I don't remember. I'm gonna be honest. I literally don't know what I said. I've had some stupid big bets, dumb shit,
and some of those had to come through, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, I have. Oh God. A story time. I'll never forget. I had a bet Hawaii college football against San Diego State for over that amount money line, and it was literally I had lost like 10,000 that day betting college football. This isn't some brag either. This is like how sick of a problem I had. And like I was down 2 touchdowns or like maybe 10 or something in the fourth quarter with a couple of minutes left. Tied it up, won an OT. Thought I was going to have a heart attack. Great story. Literally thought I was going to die though. Like,
you ever seen the Simpsons episode where Homer's playing blackjack and it's like 18 hit me, 19 hit me, 20 hit me, 21 hit me. Oh. Like, dude, pressing your bets. So you ever like had a hot streak? You're like, oh, hit me, just pressing it all up.
I used to be really bad at blackjack as well, like all-nighters at casinos. I don't play any casino games anymore, so that's good.
Yeah, good for you.
Right on. Okay, so Clayton's 2, Mark is 1.
Clayton 2, yes. Steve,
yes.
What is the most money that Clayton has lost in a cash game session?
All right, it's locked.
All right. So I have to give the first number, right?
Yes.
3,500.
4,000.
How much?
4,000.
Oh, you do like a little tiny raise there, huh?
Yeah, I just clicked it back.
Okay. All right, just a little one. All right.
Well, what do you want me to go to 10,000?
Let's go to 5. Let's go to 5,000.
I'll lock that.
I love my side.
This is interesting.
Wow.
So Mike, I guess Mark has 0 to 499, 4,999.
Yeah, this is a push, guys.
Yeah, 5,000 would be a push.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I guess we have a push.
Steve said 5,000.
Oh. I love my side because, well, I guess you guys don't.
I should have raised it.
I know
you guys
Clayton
don't know.
Plays, Clayton plays like 5-10
don't...
private games in New York, I think, sometimes. So my guess is it's much higher than there because he's capable of playing deeper. But I don't know. I don't know if you want to take a guess.
Yeah, I mean, I play 10-20.
Okay.
10-25.
Okay.
So,
wow.
like, I've definitely lost a lot more than that. Like, probably my biggest cash game loss was like, maybe 18,000.
Oh wow.
It was less than 20, but not by much. Yeah. I mean, I play pretty high stakes cash sometimes, and if you're playing at 10-25 with a straddle, it's like, $5,000 or something. It's like one buy-in.
All right. Well, Clayton still has 2. Mark has 1.
Okay, so Clayton still holds the initiative for going first.
Yes.
Steve,
okay.
How many people in China have seen Gone with the Wind?
Jesus Christ.
What's the Chinese version?
Good question.
It makes a big difference. How many people have seen Gone with the Wind in China? China's a fifth of the world's population.
That's not the question, Steve.
Okay.
How many people in China have seen Gone with the Wind? They didn't have to see it in China.
Oh.
Yeah.
They might have seen it on a plane
Yeah, I want to make sure Stevie knows what's going on.
How many Chinese people have seen Gone with the Wind? Or is this
some
how
of
many
these
people
questions.
physically located trying to watch Gone with the Wind? Two drastically different numbers here, Michael.
Some of the ones are like basically you have two math problems. You know what I mean? You got to integrate them together, see what you come up with. So I think Steve, you come up with a number. We'll just we'll not push you in one way here.
Okay, so this is up to interpretation. This is a high variance question here, gentlemen.
Well, Steve, can you tell us like what? I guess you can't tell us. So repeat the question one more time, just because I want to see it from Steve's side.
Steve, how many people in China have seen Gone with the Wind?
Okay, so I'm going to take that to be physically located in China. Airplane rides don't count. We'll subtract that.
We're not supposed to share this, Steve, but go ahead.
Okay, all right. I am locking it in.
Okay. Clayton, what do you think?
I mean, I'm going to have no clue.
That's why I said high variance.
I'm going to start. Steve, no, you can't ask. All right, I'll just say $1 million to start.
Okay, lock it. It's got to be less than that.
Wow, that was quick.
Steve said 50,000.
50,000? How many people are in China?
That's funny. I was thinking at least 2 to 3 million. So Mark was in.
No, sorry guys. The answer is only
50,000. The movie's been out since what? The 60s? The 40s? 50,000. It's on TNT on rerun.
There's like 1.
He doesn't know that. He's never left Orange County.
Right. Steve might think there's more people in Sacramento than there are in China. I mean, you don't really know how it is like that.
It's a fifth of the world's population.
I thought I was starting low with $1 million too. I was like, I'll go $1 million. Clayton will raise it up and insta lock.
Yeah, because I know Steve was thinking like 20,000.
Mark, it folded to you in the small blind. You looked down at Kings and you just fucking threw them away.
Yeah. It's horrible.
Wow. Oh. Okay, I'm now rooting for Mark just to make it a contest here. This could be a real ass.
What is it? It's
3 to 1.
Right?
No, yeah. Steve.
Yes, sir.
What is the most number of people who saw KB perform with Killingbird at one time?
In China?
That one time?
How many naked, one-legged, gay Indonesian men saw KB perform at the most? Most people who have seen KB perform live at the same time in his band Killingbird.
Okay.
This is a really good question.
Most people that have ever seen KB perform live when he was in a band, when he was a rock star. Okay, I'm going.
Whoa.
Oh, sorry. Give it.
I'm trying to make a comeback here.
Mark has a slight edge here.
I'm imagining like a cartoon of this, and there's just like the empty thought bubbles completely over Steve's head for every panel of our narrative.
There's nothing in there. Okay, and it is locked.
Okay, Clayton, once again, you go first.
300,000. 1,200.
Ooh. What
1,200.
1,200.
1,500. Shit, I just realized something.
I'm gonna lock that. I locked that up.
Ooh, you played it, Mark. You played him. You did the same thing. It's just about like turning your hand over. Like, go ahead and call.
Victory for Mr. Alioto.
Yes. I figured.
He said 2,700.
Did his little comment? Ooh, I just thought of something. Snap it in, you clicking?
No. That I thought that you thought it was less than 1,000. So
okay.
What I thought was I got to start doing like 14.99.
Right. Because Steve gives round numbers.
We put that pattern together.
5,000. Clayton's like 67.78. Did Clayton know about the rules before coming on? Let me just be clear on that.
No.
Was there any edge that he got for this? All right. 3-2. I'm making my.
I wonder what the answer. Did KB ever open for like a bigger like anthem kind of stadium band? I'm curious.
His album is on PT's jukebox, so I'm guessing it was quite a bit bigger.
Okay.
Than that. Okay. And he was also a manager too, so he managed for a pretty big label. I can't remember the label, so he definitely opened for some bigger acts and stuff.
Oh, I think he probably performed for like 12 or 15,000 people. But I'm just trying to figure out what's going on in Steve's head, which is a real exercise in futility.
Well, the most
gone with the wind
was 2,700. That's the answer.
Only I'm allowed to call Steve stupid. Damn it! You don't have that kind of relationship with him yet.
Oh, this is good.
Okay, Steve. 3-2 Clayton. Mark goes first this time.
Okay.
What is the total number of days in Carlos's adult life that he has worn something on his feet other than sneakers?
So something other. So he leaves the house and he's got flip-flops on. How often?
Steve, come on now.
All right.
At the risk of having a little dead air here, we need.
Okay, the total number of days that he's worn something other than sneakers
in his adult life since he's been 18 years old.
Plus, 20, I'm gonna go, and it's locked.
Okay. I'll start with 3.
Okay.
Extra safe.
I'll go.
I want to throw out a feeler bet.
I'll go 100.
I think I'm going to have to. Yeah, that's easy lock. Snap lock.
Tied. Steve said 75. Victory for Mr. A. 3-3.
Nice job, Mark.
I was trying to think, just in how you approach this, but I was trying to think, the only thing I could think was when he was doing real estate, which is pretty short, was he wearing shoes? And when he's living in Atlanta, is his mother like a churchgoer? Like twice a month he goes with her to church.
Okay.
I'd be curious.
Well, I guarantee.
I was just thinking flip
It wouldn't surprise me.
It
wouldn't be surprised me if he like hasn't owned something other than sneakers in 20 years though.
No, he definitely has flip flops.
I've never seen him in anything other than sneakers. So I figured 3.5, 4 times a year is probably about average, and I multiplied that by 20 since his adult life. It made sense to me.
That makes one of us.
Hey, Steve, I saw you.
You locked it in pretty quick there, Marky.
I came with the 3 to bait him, and he
that was a good one. Yes.
Right in.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's great.
Let's do my other Carlos question here now, Steve.
Okay. All right.
How many golf balls can you fit into the Knitmobile?
Golf ball. Oh no, that's not enough.
Steve.
Okay, we got it here.
Okay. Mark again goes first.
Wait, where do I go?
You just won the last one. Whoever wins the round goes first the next one, right? Or no?
Yeah.
That's the way we've been doing it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's fine. I'll go with, we'll start out with the nice little 3,500.
I'll raise it. Let's make it 5,000.
I'm going to raise you to 7,200.
How about 9,000?
So fuck. I'll raise you. We're just going to sprinkle on top of this one. We're going to go 9,999.
So that means you think,
just because I want 10,000.
You think Steve said 10,000?
I mean, there's a 50-50 chance he said 10,000.
Okay, then I'm going to say 10,000.
I'm going to say 10,300.
This is like 9-bet pot where you've each put like 40 big blinds in? just to preserve 2/3 of your stack?
Okay, we can lock that.
What was the number? I'm sorry, 13?
No, 10,350, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That is a victory for Mark, because Steve says it's over 20,001.
Wow, how big is this Knitmobile?
Yeah, he's thinking of pin when he's thinking of a Knitmobile. He's like, oh, it's got to be a Pinto or something.
I actually typed 10,001, and then I said, "Oh no, that's not enough." So I went to 20,001, and you guys over my.
Good job,
if you wanted to take the time, we probably could get something close to it. In fact, we know figure out the cubic feet of the vehicle, and then try to figure out. Just take a guess of how many golf balls would be in a cubic foot.
Well, I did all that in my head, and the answer is 20,001. Yeah.
Sure.
All righty, Mikey.
Okay, 4-3 for Mark, right?
Yes, sir.
Steve, what is the most number of poker hands that Mark has played in 1 year?
The most number of poker hands that Mark has played in 1 year. Okay. Locked.
Well, I'm not going to say anything actually because I'll start with the 300,000.
I'll go 500,000.
I don't want to push, so I'm going to go 500,000. We'll go 600,000. 600,000.
I'll go 650.
Oh, 700.
What was that, Mark?
I'm trying to read
700,000.
He said 700.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we'll lock it there.
I have to win this, Steve. You know I 20 tabled.
Victory for Mr. Fletcher. Steve said 500,000 was your big most, which is funny.
Oh my God, I didn't want to tie 500,000. Did I say that? Did I say that?
You did say that.
We have it on tape. It does exist.
Oh God.
What's your most? Is it like 1 million?
You know,
I don't even know.
I think 500,000 is probably a pretty good guess. That's a lot.
Yeah, I imagine it's around 1 million. Just when I think you remember me saying I was playing 6 to 7 days a week.
Massive multi-tabler. Yeah, I knew that, but
Okay.
And that was when I was grinding Dawn. So yeah.
We got a good match here, Steve. 5-5.
All right.
All right, Clayton. You got that 4, one, right? Buddy.
I think it's 5-5, actually. Or is it 4-4 or 5-5? I don't know.
4-4.
4-4. Tom Rathman.
Okay. This one has a little bit of a narrative to you, Steve, just so you can get in the mood.
Okay.
100 years from now, society's gone to shit, of course. And a couple of teenagers dig up Steve's grave and they pull his skull out. And one of these people is a sociopath who kills animals. And he decides, how many severed squirrel feet can I stick in Steve's skull? How many do you think, Steve?
What the fuck?
What kind of question is it?
Wait, so this is how many?
How many severed squirrel feet can you fit in Steve's empty skull?
Empty skull. Okay. Well, I'm gonna go. All right, from the first knuckle.
Steve, at least there's got to be at least 50 people who download this from some sort of institution. This is for them.
Okay.
I know you're out there.
Locked. The number of squirrel feet that can fit in my dead cranium.
Mr. Fletcher.
Oh, he locked? Okay, so I didn't hear that part. Can I ask whether Steve was killed by a hippopotamus?
In China.
In China while watching Gone with the Wind.
I assumed it was some sort of exploding dildo mishap.
In all likelihood.
Standard. Totally standard.
Oh, that would have been a great question. How many deaths via dildo explosion?
But I'm going to start the bidding at 55.
How big are these fucking squirrels you're talking about, Clayton? God, they are small. I was thinking under, so I feel like Steve and I may have a bond. I'm going under. I'm locking it.
I believe this is a Clayton victory. Yes, Steve says 205 squirrel feet will fit in his.
How fucking big do you think your head is?
It's pretty damn big, Mark. It gets bigger every day.
A squirrel's foot is tiny.
Yeah, you fit a lot of those in my noggin, I'll tell you.
See, that's the problem. In Lake Tahoe, the squirrels are fucking like the size of a pot. They're huge. They're like possum size. Like,
Oh, they're pretty small out here. I see them on the avocado tree all the time. 205 feet's the actual answer.
God, that's not even. Wait, do we know an answer here?
It's
Google
205.
I think it's Steve's. I think that's a pretty decent guess. 200. I don't know.
Is it just the foot, like the bone, or is there fur on it? I mean, this fur got fucked
from the first knuckle down. So, like, right, basically, they're.
Well, you have to just. Yeah, you have to think how Steve interprets the question, so you can't. But yeah, the actual answer, I don't know. I thought,
Steve, I
thought
thought
we were all factoring in the thickness of Steve's skull, because even when you take the brain out, there's it's minimal space there. But anyways, the question is, so what is the score now here? It's Clayton.
5-4 Clayton on Clayton.
Okay, so Clayton, we have an Olympic Gardens question here. Just so we have to give the Clayton this information. I don't know if he knows. OG's, the strip club now defunct, where there was a TPE favorite.
Not familiar with it, but okay.
Okay. We've all been there. Mark has an apartment in the back, but
correct. True.
Since
do I win anything?
Since TPE began, what was that, like 8 or 9 years ago, or is it even longer now?
It's a bit longer than that. I've been there a little less, but yeah, it's longer than that.
In the time of TPE, how many of all the TPE coaches and members, how much money have they all spent collectively at OG's?
Interesting. Olympic Gardens. Okay, so for out-of-town listeners, we're talking about a strip club here. I'm going to, wow.
Whoa.
Okay.
Take your time with this one, Stevie.
I'm going to go all the TPE.
You can't. I'll just make one thing specific. This doesn't include people who are shivved in the parking lot of Olympic Gardens and have their money taken.
Oh, okay. All right.
It's a dangerous spot sometimes. No, I'm just.
Got it.
Okay, and we are locked.
You're not kidding. It's in the game.
So how much money has TPE spent at Olympic Gardens over the years?
Members are included.
Yes, members
right?
and coaches.
Steve, you were aware of members.
I'm thinking the TPE meetup, and then somehow we end up there at 2:00 in the morning.
Okay. So I'll open for 10,000.
God, we know Steven is like perfect. That might be the winner right there. No. We gotta bump this up. So Steve, we'll go 14,000.
Okay, so if you're willing to go 14, now you have an edge here because I've never been there with you guys. I don't know what kind of spending goes on. It sounds like Steve might have been there with you guys at some point. Trying to think like Steve, I'm going to raise it again. Let's go 17.5.
Back on Mark.
20,000.
I'm going to say 22,000. 22,000.
$24,999.
Okay, lock it. You can lock that.
Come on,
Mr. Alioto has tied it up. 30,000, Steve said.
30. Okay. All right.
Spent a little bit more than you thought you did, Mark.
Stevie and I were there till the wee hours of the morning.
I remember having $80 in my pocket at the end of the night and expecting to get an HJ behind the curtain, and the stripper politely told me that I would need much more than that.
So you were picturing me in the back. I mean, shit, I don't blame you.
Yes, after all the lap dances and everything, I was left with $80 in sticky $1 bills, and that wasn't quite enough to secure.
It's pretty much a whorehouse with a couple poles put in there just for tax deduction.
Yeah, for what I was looking for. But
I'd be curious how to work that out. Mark, do you guys go more than once a year? Or is that like a once a year kind of thing?
No, it's usually a once a year thing. But I figured Steve was like $3K a year for 10 years, maybe, or like maybe they skip a year or two, but. I mean, it's probably well over that. Like, I won't say any names, but there's someone who spent like like a third of that.
Oh, God,
right. Okay.
But yeah, I wish I could say his name because everyone would die. Okay, we're tied up, and it's on me now. I had an edge there, though, so Clayton's right.
Steve.
Okay.
How many arsons were committed last year in the United States? Don't talk here there, Steve. Okay. This one.
How many arsons were committed last year in 1 year time period in the United States?
Yes.
Okay. Answer is locked in.
And Mark goes first.
In a year, you said 1 year in the United States last year.
Sorry, guys. I dropped. I don't know what happened.
Oh.
Okay, the question is, Steve, is how many arsons were committed in the last year in the U.S.?
Okay. And Mark's first, right?
Mark's first, yeah.
Yeah, he locked in. I'll start with 100.
Okay, I'll make it 200.
I'll make it 3.
I think 3 is what's pretty close to where Steve thinks it is. And he's a firefighter.
Oh, I didn't know if you knew that. I was going to... Okay. Lock.
All right, I'll lock it there at 300.
Oh, God, it could be a big win.
Big win for Mark. 10,003.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? What?
Dude, I was going to start at like 10.
In the last year? Okay.
What are you guys thinking of an arson fire?
Okay. You're going to be one of those firefighters.
Doesn't necessarily have to be a burning house, I guess, right? It could be
right.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we
anything.
all sorts of, car fires and everything. That's actually probably pretty low. It's probably close.
All right, Mark. You get that one on a technicality.
Right. I'll take it.
That's the lead, right? I think I took the lead now.
All right.
Okay, Steve.
Mm-hmm.
In the last 200 years, how many American firemen have had sex with a farm animal?
200 years.
They do, by the way, have fire departments in Iowa. That's all. That's the last thing I'll say.
Well, yeah, that definitely ups the ante there. In the last 200 years. Okay, we're gonna go.
Can I just point out one thing? Mike's questions are so like your mind goes to places that I wish mine went to. It's quite amazing. Like just in the variety of places you're going. I like the
well, thank you very much.
Okay.
You really do.
This show might have to be like a quarterly feature, Steve, here. This is fun for me too.
Yeah, I'm kind of enjoying this. Okay. I love how much knowledge I have, and I'm able to educate you guys as we go through this.
Yeah, see, this is where I'm fucked. I'm
exactly how many.
I don't know if you respond, like if you told Mike, like, yo, I responded to this guy who was fucking a goat. I just don't know. I wish I knew this.
Okay,
stuff.
answer is locked in.
Okay. Mark won the last one, right? So Mark goes first.
All right. Just repeat the question one more time.
In the last 200 years, how many firemen have had sex with a farm animal in this country?
200 years.
But only the U.S.
Only the U.S., yeah. I mean, Steve's got to think there's one a year. Easy. I mean, I'll start with 100.
All right. Now, is Steve on the list or does he not? All right. I'll go 200, one a year.
Let's bump it to 1.5. We'll go 300.
I'm going to say 365.
Oh, shit. I'm going to go 200 years. Yeah, okay. Let's go 500.
Okay, we can lock that.
Okay.
Another victory for Mr. Alioto.
Oh,
1,700, Stevie thinks.
Yeah. 1,700.
Wait, is this like a fucking...
All right. I'm never hanging out with any firemen ever again.
I'd be curious if Steve...
Dude, I have so many firemen friends. I'm going to look at them weird.
Well, it's only 8.5 per year. Okay.
Steve,
So over 200 years, you're only dealing with the last few percent, here.
Here's the question. Steve, were you including hand jobs?
Oh. No, I wasn't. Should I have been?
1,700. Oh.
No, HJs were not included. I didn't realize I was supposed to count those.
Okay.
That's a pretty big lead. I'm 7.5, I believe.
7.5, yes.
Yeah, you're on a streak here.
I got you on the old goat farm animal fucking.
Okay.
How many more questions are there? And how many of them are about bestiality? That's what I need to know. What have I gotten myself into?
Well, you might not want to study next time and really...
Yeah, I was on Pornhub scoping out the scene earlier.
Doing research.
Well, I think that's the end of the TP-related questions I have, but I got a few more. Let's give Clayton a chance to come back here. What do you think? A few more questions?
All right.
Okay, 3 more questions.
Oh, he wants to win. He wants to sweep the board.
Let's see here. Steve, how many people in San Francisco have never taken an Uber or a Lyft drive?
How many people in San Francisco have never taken an Uber or Lyft ride? Okay. We're going to lock in. Okay, locked.
I mean, start with 5,000.
5,000? Let's go 100,000.
Steve knows how many people are in SF. I'm going to lock that in.
That's another victory for Alioto here. I guess he's
no way.
The actual
just 50,000. Steve thinks 97% of the San Francisco population's been in an Uber. I'm not sure that's correct.
I mean, no, but he's not wrong. You can't drive in the city, so like it's gonna be a high percentage.
Okay.
Whatever.
But you also can walk.
Whatever.
You also what?
You also can walk like this. You can walk the whole city.
Well, I basically put it. What's the population of? What's the number of people that are over 75 in San Francisco? Everyone under that has taken an Uber. Everyone over that, maybe 75% of them haven't.
Steve, I like how you approach the alley question. You did that in a very. I don't know about your Uber rationale. But,
no, bad rationale.
This has gone so far downhill. I was winning, and I lost like 9 questions in a row. This is horrible.
Are we officially ready to declare Mark the winner here?
I think so, yeah.
Mark is the winner. I feel like Mark betting on San Diego State or something. This is brutal.
Hawaii, San Diego State.
We might have to, if this becomes a regular feature, we might just need some theme music. What does Steve think?
I like that.
Doesn't have a lick of goddamn sense, but he tried.
Steve and I have had long drunk talks about bestiality, so I was pretty much a lock in this competition today.
So unfair.
Yeah, I know. I felt bad on that one.
So unfair.
Well, that
you
was
guys
fun.
go to Olympic Gardens and talk about bestiality all night while I'm out like actually working for a living. Unbelievable.
Oh, that was good. Right on. Well, thank you, Mikey. That was cool. I've got a letter from a listener, Tom C. He talks about TPE, and he even mentions you, Clayton. He says, Steve, I've been a day one listener. Thank you guys for all the good stuff. I miss the old days when you and Mike talked about online challenges and the different networks. You guys motivated me to get back in poker. I also listen to Thinking Poker as well as the TPE podcast. Dun, dun, dun. In the last month, I finally made the laughably small investment of joining TPE. I have no idea what took so long. I spent the first month on all Andrew Broca's theory videos, and they are incredible. I played for many years, and I'm slightly better than break even, and TPE is in literally changing my game. So very cool. Thank you, Tom. That's awesome. You guys use the code HUP month, HUP quarter, HUP year for TPE. Tom, I couldn't have written a better advertisement. I just love the site as well. Then Tom goes on. I do have a hand question that feels easy, but after thinking about it, it's really bothering me. Now we get down to it. But I made the final table of a 20K guarantee. So there is about 4K up top, and we're sitting on 400 profit by making the final table. This is an online tournament. 4K doesn't change my life, but it changes my poker bankroll by a lot. So we're talking about a serious situation. We head to final table with 50 big blinds. Thank you, TPE. One other guy has 55 big blinds, and everyone else is under 25. We are set up for a big score. So he's second in chips out of probably 10 people at the table, and everyone else has 25 bigs. He's got 50, and the other guy has 55. First hand of the final table, and I get queen in the cutoff. So folds to him in the cutoff. He's got pocket queens. Folds to me, and I 2x. So I've got some thoughts here. What are you guys thinking? What you want to start, Mark?
I mean, I think it's fine. Like my sizing would change based on the stacks, but like if we're just dealing with it in a vacuum, like min raising.
Okay, we find out more in the later on. The let's see, he's in the cutoff. Button and small blind have 25 bigs, and the big blind has 55.
Yeah, I think min raising is perfect. Gives the 25 big blind. I mean, I don't know how much more likely they are to reship over a min raise versus like a 2.5x or 3x, but I'm totally fine with it. I think it's good.
Okay. Clayton?
Yeah, I'm with Mark.
Okay. You too, Mikey?
Well, I don't know. Does he believe in bestiality? Because I hear people who engage in that, they usually open to 5x just to be different.
See, I was thinking opening to like 3x or maybe even 4x here, because I feel like with only 2x, with 225 big blinds behind us, they can. I kind of want them to shove all in, and then on top of that, you got a guy with a lot of blinds that covers us in the big blind. This could be a chance for us to really get some tips.
Yeah, but you also don't want to lose the big blind, right? Like he's more likely to call a min raise versus a 3x by like quite a bit.
Right.
So I wouldn't want to lose that action. I want the guy with 50 bigs in with a premium.
Okay. Do you really think they're shoving 25 bigs though at a against a 2x open from the cutoff? Wouldn't they be more likely to shove if you
Oh, absolutely. With Annie's and the small blind, big blind, yeah, for sure. Like Mikey's ripping like the ace 4 ball there,
absolutely,
like all day.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right.
I was gonna just ask you that you might tweak it depending on game flow. I'm sorry, was this online or live? This
is online.
Yeah, I know one that catches me. If there's someone who's been opening 2.5x and say I've raised, they've had to fold to a 3-bet. Like I've been caught by this. Once they go like 3.5, 4x, then I rip it on them every time, like really wide, because I'm thinking they're just getting pissed. And if you do that with kings, I've done that before, like ripped king 7 and the person had like aces or something. You know what I mean? Like 30 bigs.
Yeah.
Also, another cool thing about the min raise is like the button and the small blind can 3-bet fold. They want to get super hood, which is kind of high level stuff, but versus a 3x, like it'd be pretty hard to 3-bet fold. I think you'd be like 3-bet folding like 40% of your stack, so you couldn't do that. So it gives them a little bit more room to tool out. Which
Okay, we might pick up an extra.
And I would be min raising full range here for what it's worth.
All right.
If ever,
go ahead.
Keep going. If everyone was deep, like I guess we already knew that there was only 150 big blind stack. If all 4 guys had 50 big blinds, that would be. I'd probably want to bump it up a little bit more just to like get more effective stack.
Okay, but there's all right, that makes sense. Okay.
Steve, one more question, Steve.
Yeah.
How many Russian women were raped when Napoleon marched towards Moscow?
Russian women?
Never mind. I'm just joking. Napoleon's army was.
Wait, is this a Barton Finks again? Or wait, are Clayton and I back in the game?
Sorry.
Mike can't stop. He's got more questions. He can't stop asking questions.
Okay, so first hand of the final table, queen in the cutoff. We 2x is hero. It folds to the big blind, who happens to be the guy with 55 big blinds. He calls, and we go to a flop. 6 bigs in the pot and 48 effective behind. No HUD stats on the villain. This is the first hand at the final table. Okay. With queen, the flop is queen, jack, 8, rainbow. Okay. Villain checks. What do you guys think here?
Always betting.
Okay.
You agree with that part or no?
Yeah, +1. Yeah, I'm always betting.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is we have SPR of 8. It's going to be really hard to get stacks in. I mean, obviously that's the goal, but we can't accomplish that goal if we don't bet. So, I mean, I would bet as much as you think he can call. I mean, there's a lot of, he's going to have a really wide range for calling a min raise with this kind of stack, with antes and everything. So we hope he calls us with a jack or a draw, king 10, 10, 9, whatever. We should bet big, like 4 blinds.
Yeah, you could probably get away with like 80% pot here because like there's going to be a lot of pair gutter combos and stuff.
Yeah.
Like those types of hands are calling any size.
Anything,
like, you could even pot it and they call. So yeah, I'm with both of them. Bet on the bigger.
Just
side
quickly, let's say, Mark, we did have like 5,000 hands on this person. Is there a certain kind of type of villain where you like the check back here, or is it pretty much always a bet regardless?
Not on this, not on this specific board. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, having top set is nice, obviously, but this board is just, and plus, like the fact that he has so many chips, like the SPR being 8, like we need to get as much in case this guy does have a hand like 2 pair. It would be nice to get it all, or if like he flopped a straight and we hit a boat, like we want to get it all if possible. Yeah, I guess like on queen jack deuce, I'd probably still be betting too for like a lot of jacks in his range, some gutters, like so definitely betting.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I was thinking closer like 4 big blinds, 4.5, something like that. Just a little bit bigger because it's a wet board. We can get action from a lot of hands. Okay. Hero says, let's see, villain checks. I considered the check behind with the monster, but I thought we have to get chips in the pot at some point. The C-bet makes sense for us on this flop, and queen jack 8 hits villain's calling range a lot, and I totally dominate that. I bet 3 big blinds into the 6 big blind pot, and villain shoves over the top.
Yeah, I mean, I'm breaking my hand calling.
Yeah, I mean, what are we talking about here? We're worried about the one hand that can beat us. Call.
That he just overshoved. I'm breaking.
Yeah, I can't call fast enough. You got 10-9. I still have outs.
But I get where this is going, and it like ICM and stuff like that. Break your hand into the pot, Tommy. Like, this is if it's a cooler. Like, if anyone that shoves a made hand here, like the nuts, is just it's just not very good at poker. So don't beat yourself
but technically,
up. If
it's the final table and you had like 4 people with 7 bigs or something, like you're still not folding, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, there's no way here.
Yeah, okay, forget it. I call.
Right on. Okay, good deal. He says, at this point, TPE coaches are on one shoulder saying, obvious call, no chances he's shoving 9-10 here. Well called, Tommy. 9-10 flats and hopes to get trapped later. Tons of other hands. On the other hand, Angel Carlos is yelling, they always have it. They're never bluffing. Call. Anyhow, of course, the guy has 9-10. Said, can you ever find a fold here? Crazy things considering. No, I never could. Let's see.
Well, anyone who listens to the TPE podcast knows that I don't pay anywhere near as much attention to ICM as I should. As I talk about hands, especially we've been going over the main event with a fine-tooth comb, and there's just so many times when guys are folding hands that I would just never fold because, I think you have to play for first place. And the thing is, in this spot, he does it with 10-9. He might also do it with Queen Jack, Jack Jack, 8-8. Other hands we can beat, combo draws, King 10. Like, there's so many hands that we are ahead of that we can beat. And even against the nuts here, we have like something like 30% equity. Yeah. So, there's really no case to be made for folding in my mind. If you're going to fold the second nuts, don't play tournaments. What are you doing?
I'm going to call, but I'm going to call, but I'm going to give about a 17-minute speech beforehand to talk about how unlucky I am. I haven't been laid too money, tournaments are stupid, all this kind of stuff.
I love how he writes this at the end of it too, Clayton. He says, I love Clayton Fletcher's approach of, and this is air quote or quotes here, we play to win. But given the big blind situation, the final table, all in without the nuts, I think I have to call, but I feel like I'm rarely good. I think you're going to be good a lot there, Tom. And we can't ever think of folding.
Like, I would go as far to say I would bet my entire bankroll that he never has 9-10 in that spot. Like, if you offered, I'm not sure I would do it. I kind of think I would. Like, if you're like, dude, you can bet everything you've worked your entire life for right now.
The funny thing, though, is
I would do it.
The more I think about this, I agree.
And I'd be working at his bouncer.
It's hard to put too many combos in his range. Because he probably 3-bets jacks. He might 3-bet 8s. But he definitely has Queen Jack, Jack 8.
King 10.
Jack 10. King 10, he's got it, but, I don't think he's doing that. Well, he might do a 10 King too. So, it's a call.
The main thing is he's not doing it with 9-10 very often at all. Like, it's 1 and 2 in chips. He has an opportunity to get a lot of our chips, and he's just going to overpile. Like I said, again, like, I would put everything I've ever amounted to in my life and not have 9-10, and I would be completely homeless.
That's why you're a fucking sports bettor, not a poker star like me and Clayton here. No.
No, both of you would put everything you're worth if he doesn't have 9-10.
I would acknowledge that, as Carlos on one shoulder is saying, yeah, they have it. Like, they always have it, whatever. But the problem is, it can mean a lot of things in this spot. I don't agree that he's going to always 3-bet pocket 8s. And I do think that if he has pocket 8s, like, yeah, he probably does 3-bet pocket jacks, but some players might decide to occasionally slow play jacks thinking they can trap you or whatever. People do weird things like over shove for 8 times the pot with the nuts on the flop. Like there's a lot of weird things that players do. So, I mean, I probably wouldn't bet everything I've ever earned in my life, but I would be,
wow, really? See, I would. You got to think about that. The odds of him having 9-10.
Yeah, it's a good bet. It's a good bet.
Worth your like, it's pretty big.
It's a good bet, but it's also like risk of ruin. It's like I don't want to be home.
Yeah, I mean,
we can only call there with like Queen.
I'd be 20 tabling $5 dimes. I'm about that life. Like I'm ready to go back to it.
All right.
No, I'm really not.
Yeah, I really have to run.
Right on.
Me too.
I was just going to. We were having the conversation before Mark came on. I don't know if Mark wants to once again share the dates of the TP Meetup. Do you know what? Yes.
It's the weekend of the 29th of May, I believe.
Okay.
Clayton might know more than I do.
No, I haven't been invited to the meetup. No way. Just because I host a podcast doesn't mean they tell me what's going on.
It might be the first. It's probably that Saturday, either May 31st or June 1st.
Cool.
And it's a blast. There's no OGs, so we won't be doing that. But.
Oh yeah, well you say that now.
Let's invite Clayton.
Sapphire.
Or how about we invite Clayton but give him the wrong address? I mean, how do we not offend him but avoid him at the same time? It's a hard.
That's good. I like it.
No, I've never met Clayton. I need to meet Clayton. Is coming. Clayton and I need to have several drinks and shoot the shit about bestiality.
Yeah, sounds good. Just so I can catch up and beat you next time at Barton Thinks.
Okay, boys.
Right on.
All right,
well,
guys.
thank you guys. If you guys want to follow Clayton at Clayton Comic on Twitter, Mark at AZ.
Just search Mark Alioto.
Search Mark Alioto. And we'll take a quick break. I'll tell you how you can get Alex's free video, and then we'll wrap it up. Thank you guys for coming on. I want to take a sec and thank our new sponsor, Alexander Fitzgerald. Alex and I shook hands in New York, and he's becoming a sponsor of the podcast. So he's starting out. He's given us all a free intro video to his Master Tournament Poker in one class. Bold statement, but in that video, it's very easy to see how if you're a losing player or a break-even player, you will be a winning player after employing the strategies that he recommends. He teaches you in that short hour exactly what hands you're making 85% of your profits from. Okay, imagine that. Imagine if you knew exactly which hands you're playing that make up 85% of your profits. Well, you'll learn that. You'll also learn how to find where your edge is at the table. Is it the number 7 seat? Is it the guy to your left that's just 3-betting the hell out of you? After going through this video, you'll know exactly who that is. I'm excited. He's got a lot of content, a lot of videos. Anything he puts out, I just absorbed. I've read his books. And I watch all his videos on Tournament Poker Edge. And now I'm going through his library of content that he's been putting out for years. And there's a reason that they all have 5-star reviews, and because he just puts out good stuff. He's the first. As soon as I see a video of his come out on TPE, I'm the first to watch it 3 or 4 times, just let it sink in. And now we have access to his entire library. So click on the link in the show notes, get your free 1-hour video. If you like any of the other stuff that you see there, Alex and I worked out a 75% discount for all Heads Up Poker podcast listeners. Just got to use the code HUPOKER, just like you do for Elliot Roe, and you get access. The name of the class is Master Tournament Poker in one class. It's a bold statement, but it's true. Because I've done it, and so can you. You see that little rhyme I put in there? Thank you for tuning in. Here is your weekly motivational speech.
Everywhere that you look around you, you can sense that people don't want to see you succeed. But I'm gonna plant this in your spirit. The fire and truth on the inside of you will make room for you, whether the haters like you or not. Doubt is the best salesman that there's ever been. He gets up every day and knocks on your door trying to sell you on the lie that you aren't good enough. But those who can sit in silence and still believe shall one day hear the music of that which they believe for. Each time you face something you fear, in truth, you go to a deeper level of growth, awareness, and personal power. See, the fire grows inside of you when you own and accept everything about you. It's time to stop running and climb. There's 3 types of people in this world: those in the game, those on the sidelines, and those in the stand watching. The time has come for you to make a decision right now.